supposed to be a millionaire by now. At least that's what they led us to believe as 90s kids collecting these Beanie Babies. As a travel creator, one of my favorite ways is to travel through time travel. And today we're traveling back to the 90s Beanie Babies craze. If you were a child during that decade like me, then you probably remember the excitement, the rush to the nearest gift shop, the thrill of seeing a new Beanie Baby with its bright red TY heart-shaped tag, its name, its birthday, and a little tiny poem that made it feel like it had a personality of its own. Kids were obsessed, yes, but adults were just as caught up. Many seeing them not just as toys, but as these little investments, little plush fortunes just waiting to be made. Beanie Babies themselves were deceptively simple. They were these small stuffed animals filled with tiny plastic beads, giving them a weight and a flexibility unlike any other toy. Every toy had its own story, its own name, its birthday, a short whimsical poem on the tag that gave it its personality. They were also inexpensive, usually about $5, and with dozens of animals, colors, and special editions, it was just easy for anyone to start collecting. The company behind Beanie Babies were a master at creating desire. They sold the toys exclusively in smaller gift shops, not giant retail chains such as Toys R Us. This made them feel special and very exclusive. But the real brilliance was in the retirement strategy. Beanie Babies would be retired after a certain period, and sometimes small variations or production errors would appear. Punchers the lobster had a misprinted tag reading Pinchers, and then Peanut the elephant was accidentally produced in royal blue instead of light blue, and collectors went wild over these mistakes. I don't know if you guys remember, but they were believing that these were rare treasures. Like, some speculated that Warner intentionally did this to stoke the frenzy, while others insisted the founder was just simply a perfectionist. Practically 30 years later, and we're still wondering the truth, like still. By 1996, the Beanie Baby craze had erupted into a national, dare I say, global obsession. Guidebooks and magazines listed their value and often widely inflating the potential worth of certain toys. One 1997 guide even predicted that the Liberty Bear would be worth $400 by 2007. $400 for a Beanie Baby? What? Which is funny because today you can find it on Facebook Marketplace for under $10. Stores had waiting lists for new releases. People lined up for hours. And then when a McDonald's promotion released teeny Beanie Babies, oh my goodness, the toys sold out in less than 2 weeks instead of the planned 5. The high stakes of these small toys even led to crime. Theft, scams, and bootleg operations emerged as people sought to get ahead in the market. A few desperate collectors even robbed stores to secure the latest releases. And then there were the famous Beanie Baby divorce cases. One of the most absurd, yet strangely emblematic moments of the craze occurred in 1999 when a divorcing couple in Las Vegas was ordered to divide their Beanie Baby collection in court. I kid you not. The two of them sat on the floor, carefully choosing their favorites as if they were splitting a fortune in gold. Of course, the bubble could not last forever. Once Beanie Babies became widely available, their scarcity disappeared. Prices crashed. Some collectors had made a small fortune by selling early, but many were left with toys only worth a fraction of what they had paid. Some people lost thousands, including a couple who lost $100,000 in a single collection. The market collapsed, leaving Beanie Babies as nostalgic artifacts rather than speculative assets.